The guru is live.
Good Tuesday morning. We've got a topic for you this morning, one that everybody can do, everybody can get better at, and every client feels like it's not working. Nearly every client feels like is how to keep your client in the loop of information. I'll tell you, it's one of the most complained about things when people talk about their current agent, that they were out of the loop. They didn't know what was going on. The whole thing was crazy. They had no idea when the appointments were or anything going on. And this is something you can do to substantially build your business bigger than ever before, which is our goal, to build your business bigger than ever before. We're going to tear this thing apart and show you how to keep your client perfectly in the loop and growing your business right after this.
So, Rod, what does it mean? 7 minutes to a new career.
Well, in 7 minutes, we can have a cup of coffee. We can talk career goals and how we're going to help you make the biggest career move in your life.
That's right. There's a lot of things that Mountain Hood Realty has to offer, and Rod is a ball of energy.
I love the career, and I want to share with you my passion for building your business bigger than you ever thought it could be.
Come spend 7 minutes with us. We look forward to it.
Talk to you soon.
Guru is back.
All right, we're tearing apart the idea that clients feel out of the loop. Grab your coffee this morning. I'm certainly sipping mine, loving the Black Rifle Coffee Company coffee. I keep getting asked, are they a sponsor? No, they're not a sponsor. I just love their coffee, and I love that they're connected to the military and they give back to our troops. I love that. All right, clients in the loop. How do we keep them in the loop? You know, we go along thinking, well, I'm searching for homes for them. I'm sending them out homes. I'm sending them those emails. You know, isn't that keeping people in the loop in 2022? You know, 2022, that year that we happen to be in right now that's so crazy. Well, email is not the only way to keep people in the loop. And in fact, even for people that are closely looped in to email, they may not feel like they're in the loop if all you're doing is sending out a constant email campaign, because email, we all get hundreds of it. I don't know what you get up to in the morning. I get up every morning for between 200 and 400 email a day. I use my screen reader. I zip through them. Unless I can identify from the outset that you're important, you just get zipped by. For heaven's sakes, it's email. How much time can we spend on email? And if that is your plan for keeping people in the loop, I've got news for you. Your clients think they're out of the loop. What do we mean by the loop? Let's take a moment here and define what we actually mean by the loop. The loop is the loop of information. It's the loop of involvement. It's the loop of connection. And it's the loop of relationship and your understanding of the client's motives so that they feel like they are connected. Your client needs to feel connected to the process. If they don't feel connected to the process, I guarantee you they are searching somewhere else, because there's a lot of noise out there. There's a whole bunch of noise. The noise in real estate is incredibly loud right now. And it has been for a long time, because real estate is on fire, whether it's on the way swing up or the swing down. Real estate, they're not making any more of it. So real estate is always interesting. By the way, it's a quarter. Just as a quick gut check, you're involved in a quarter of the nation's macro economy. I mean, the career is that powerful. So let's loop our clients in. You take time. You're studying the markets. You're paying attention to what's going on in real estate. But there's a simple thing going on out there, and your client is out of the loop. And they are out there shopping other opportunities, and you think you've got a client. It isn't that wonderful. You think you have a client, and your client is out there. And next thing they do is they say to you, oh, thank you so much for sending. We've all had this happen. I know we've had it happen. Thank you so much for sending me 123 Main Street. I already looked at it with another agent, and I'm so thankful. I'm in contract now. It's wonderful. Thank you for your help and everything you've done for me. And you're left standing there wondering, what happened? What happened? My client went with somebody else. They went with somebody else because they're out of the loop of information. They're out of the loop of relationship. They're out of the loop of your connection. You got to be connected to people more than just sending out that constant email. By the way, email campaigns are wonderful. I wouldn't avoid the email campaign, but it is one aspect of about 10, between 5 and 10, depending on what you're doing with your market, different aspects that you need to be involved in to keep your client in the loop. And, you know, the old-fashioned calling them. Just a second. Let me take a sip of coffee. I know I'm going to get in trouble on this one. I'm going to get the comments coming in. The old-fashioned phone call to the client to keep them in the loop on a weekly basis or even every few days. People say they don't want phone calls. They do want a certain type of phone call. And it's the type of phone call that merits their attention. Okay, let's hit that again. It merits the client's attention. What does that mean? It means that you're giving them information they want to hear. Because there's a lot of mixed information out there on social media. The social media information, that animal out there is incredibly large. It's like a gorilla. And it's spewing out information that way. It's spewing information that way. It's going every direction. And that information is not necessarily accurate, or the interpretation of it that your client is interpreting is not necessarily accurate, and they're not linking it to you every time. And what you need to be done is you need the information link to be coming back to you. So how do you do this? Well, first, you need to have a conversation with your client. You've got nothing without a conversation with your client. You've got to understand their motives. You need to start building a relationship. And if you have a friend, you know, the BFF thing, best friends forever. If you're BFF with somebody, you know what social media they like. You know how they like to communicate. You know in what times of the day they like to communicate. You know what their schedule is. And you've taken notes to this. Come on, agents. I know you're great out there. I know you want this career. I know you want to build your career bigger than ever before. Don't kid me around about this. I know you want to build your career bigger than ever before. We have to take notes. We have to take notes to when's their availability. If you've got a website, and almost all of us do. I laugh at even saying it, but there are some that don't. So, okay, no problem. So you've got a website and they can search through your website. Go back and pull the data of your website and find out what time of the day do they typically search your website for homes. Yes, you don't get insulted. For those who don't know that, you can tell that. So you look at it and you say, oh, I see they typically search the website at 10 p.m. Or I see they typically search the website at 1 p.m. Okay, now you've got an idea of when they're looking and when maybe you should be sending them other messages. This career isn't easy. I never said it was going to be easy to build your career. It's a whole lot of work, but you're the one that wanted to be licensed. And I believe strongly in you that we can build your career bigger than ever before. Now, in the midst of all this noise, let's talk about family and friends. Family and friends can disrupt the conversation unless you're in front of it like nobody's business. Because all of a sudden you've got a deal and you say, wow, let's go take a look at 123 Main Street. Just using that as an example. My constant 123 Main Street as the example. I should change it at some point. Anyway, so you use it, you've got 123 Main Street, and you think, wow, they really like that house. But you've got to know who else has the ear of your client. And it's family and friends. And if you're not connected on the information loop with your client, you don't know who those family and friends are. You don't know what they're saying. You don't know the pressure being put upon your client. And here you're saying, I found you the perfect home. Let's make an offer. Behind the scenes, the family and friends are saying something else, and they may not be wrong. Let's face it. The family and friends may not be wrong. There may not be a right and wrong issue to this. This may be a conversation that you should be part of. You know, being part of the conversation. Sometimes I just say to people, can I at least be part of the conversation? Because being part of the conversation, suddenly you have value. You're in the room. You're connected. Remember the loop? If you're part of the conversation, you're connected. But you can't be part of the conversation until you have spent some time connecting with the client. Wow, that's tough. That's really true. Our clients are stressed. They're stressed like, let me talk to you quickly about stress because it relates to being connected and keeping someone in the loop. First, people feel like they're out of the loop of information when it comes to real estate. Why do they feel that way? Well, it's quite simple. Real estate is huge. Remember, it's that quarter of the economy, of the gross domestic product economy. It's huge. How do you wrap your brain around something that large? Well, first of all, you don't have to wrap it around the whole thing. You have to wrap it around your area. And you are the one connected. You are the missing puzzle piece that can connect them to this. But you have to show how you fit in their puzzle. Well, that's incredible. That's really difficult to do because it's not one conversation. It's multiple conversations. It's staying in front of them, showing them homes, and having that active conversation along the way with them. Because people are stressed because they don't know stuff. The noise on social media is loud. The noise from family is loud. The fact that you have to break through this noise, you've got to find a way to break through the noise. Let me guarantee you on this. To be part of the active discussion going on and be part of the loop, it's not just that you want them to be part of your loop. You want to be part of their loop of information because both are possible and both are critical. You can't just have them step in and out of your loop. It doesn't work. Remember the BFF thing? Nobody's a BFF because they step into your loop now and then. That's an occasional friend. That's someone who dabbles with you a little bit. That's not a BFF. What you're looking to make with these people are close to a BFF because they are looking to spend the most money on an item that they will ever spend in their lifetime. Well, to do that, you're going to have to earn someone's trust. And to earn the trust, you're going to have credibility. And to have credibility, just stepping our way back out, you're going to have to be in the loop of information on their loop. And they're going to have to be in your loop. You're going to have the Venn diagram. Not trying to get too complicated here, but you're going to have some crossover with your relationship and understand their motive. So you are pushing for the same thing that their family and friends and the people that are important to them want. That's what you've got to do. That's how you break through the noise. That's how you have it happen. And you're part of that loop of information that is so critical to them. All right, let me get another sip of coffee this morning. We talk a lot on this show about KSAs, knowledge, skills, and abilities. You've got to give them knowledge freely. You can't just always hold from it. And if you're not busy studying every day in real estate, which I know you are, you're wanting to build your career, so you're paying attention to the market, but you need to deliver that knowledge to them. You have skills, you have abilities, you have knowledge. They're looking for answers. They're looking for the who, what, when, where, why. Define it for them. Take a moment and define this. Peel the onion apart slowly. It's difficult. People are confused about this whole process. You might want to make a list. You might want to create a graph for them. You might want to make it that the people need to follow something, and it feels like they are more in the loop because you've created something. You've created an ability, a way for them to listen carefully. Through a list, through a process. Creating a process for people shows a lot of value. The value is that they are stressed, they feel out of the information loop, and you've given them a way to listen. Listen carefully. One moment here while I sip my coffee. All right. Slowing down here a little bit. By the way, take a minute and like the show. I love it. It does make my day when people, I should have said it earlier. Take a minute and like the show. I love it. Also, send me your comments. I get back to everyone on their comments. What would you like to know about keeping your client in the loop? There's a lot of products out there, by the way, to keep clients in the loop. Now, you know by now, if you've been listening to my show, you know I'm a huge advocate of video. Video is where it's at in 22. Video has been hot for several years, and this year, video is explosively hot. And in order to stay in front of your client, if you're emailing them, why aren't you sending them an email video? If you're texting them, why aren't you texting them a text video? I mean, video works so well. You're speaking directly to them. They can hear your voice calling out their name. And there's rarely something so sweet to most people as hearing their own name called out. Well, except, unless you're a prosecutor or something. Then nobody wants to. All right, off that. People love to hear their name called out in processes. It calls attention. There's 4 elements to the art of persuasion. The first element is attention getter. And if you can't get someone's attention, you've got nothing. Well, one way to get their attention is to call out their name. And print email isn't enough. I'm going to lay it out for you this morning. Print is an email. You send it out and you say, hey, Rod. If that's all well and fine, but everybody says, hey, Rod. Everybody says, hi, Guru. Everyone's saying that, and I get hundreds of them a day. Everyone's saying that in the email. But when someone sends me a video and says it, it's different. I'm hearing it in their tone, in their voice. I can tell somewhat what they mean by it when they're saying it. Have they said it for the first time? Do we actually know each other? I can see them. Well, most people can see them. Staying in front of your client, always in front of your client on a regular basis. So you are part of their loop. You're part of that informational loop is part of what we have to be doing. Of course, video is part of that. Now, the checklist. The checklist is powerful. I love checklists, and I wouldn't stop using checklists in 22. They're not old yet. We haven't bypassed that. Now, there's different types of checklists. You can have interactive checklists with people. You can invite them to a calendar style of checklist. I've got a couple agents that love to do this. Every single deal, even prior to the deal, on everything they're doing, they have checklists and they build it into a calendar style. That is wonderful because you are keeping people in the loop through a process. And let's back this up for a second. If we're keeping people in the loop, they're not looking at other people. You always need to be predicting what the possibilities are to come next. Well, if you're not, here's the prediction. If you're not in the loop with them, they're looking for someone else. If you don't have the relationship with them yet, then they are using someone else. They're not just because you met with them one time doesn't mean they are your client. I know that's getting hard this morning. Maybe you need to start asking more questions and start learning about them. Maybe you need to paraphrase back to them the words they're saying so you get it in your head. I love it and others love it. When I say something and someone paraphrases it back to me, it tells me this: they're listening to me. It's the beginning of a nice relationship. To believe that you are being heard. If the client thinks they're being heard by you, they are more likely to be in that relationship with you. If they don't think that they are being heard, they're still looking. I know that's on a Tuesday morning. That's as hard as it gets. They're still looking. You think you got a client, and the next thing you hear from them is, "Thank you so much. I bought 123 Main Street. You helped me so much." Well, how did I help? I didn't write the offer for you. That's not what you're looking for. What we're looking for is you writing the offer. What we're looking for is you listing the property. What we're looking for is you setting up a follow-up methodology that is not one-dimensional. It's not just this. It's not just email. And by the way, it's not just text messages. Please send me in your comments. How do you follow up? What works? What is your methodology? What is your process of follow-up? How many different processes do you use to follow up with a client? Now, after you have a relationship and you understand how to follow up with somebody, you may get down to one method because now you've got the relationship. That's completely different. That's not what we're talking about this morning. So those of you sitting there thinking, well, I talk on Facebook Messenger with my client all the time. Wonderful for you. That's terrific. That's what you want. You found the venue that works. You have a relationship. It's working for you all the time. But until you have found the motives, until you're in the loop, until you're in their loop of information and they are in your loop and you are crossing back and forth, you are searching for what works. So you have to have a planned time to follow up in multiple ways until you hit on that method. It's incredibly important to ask how. We're talking about how here. How the client is doing. How is the client feeling about this relationship right now? There's nothing wrong with asking that. You wouldn't say, well, do you think I'm a good person for you? No, it doesn't come out that way. Instead, you ask the question craftily, of course. You would say something like, how is the home search process working for you right now? Am I sending you the right homes? You want to stay in that open loop of information that they feel like they can have a conversation with you, and it's not just yes, no. If you're still in the yes and no part of the relationship, you haven't got to the relationship yet that is going to make you money. Well, for a Tuesday morning, we're nailing it down. You haven't got to the point of making money yet if you're still yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. You've got to get to the point of the relationship that they're actually conversating and in communication with you. The circle of communication. There's actually 6 elements to the circle of communication. Not going to go over all 6 elements this morning, but the sender encodes it and sends it across the channel, and they receive it, and they send it back, and they're sending. It's a feedback loop. You ever wonder when someone's sitting in the room and you're talking at them, and they are looking down? You might begin to wonder: are they asleep? Did they hear you? What's going on? Did they die? What happened? Until you get a communication loop going on, you don't know that you've even been heard. So keeping your clients in the line of communication is incredibly difficult at first and incredibly easy after it begins to happen. So use the client's preferred method. You're not going to know their preferred method until you start getting into their head. You're simply not going to know it. Digging in, ultimately you want to dig in with them and have that relationship. And their preferred method means you're communicating on a regular basis. Not just once every Tuesday, not just once every Friday when you think, oh, we should go and look at a home or something. It's a regular communication where you're having them, they're sending you their thoughts, you're sending them opportunities and thoughts, and you're sharing knowledge with them. This puts both of you into each other's loop of friends and information, and that's when you have a client, and we are building your business bigger than it could have ever been imagined before. Right down here in the banner, I have a link to Kickstarter. Kickstarter is our course that shows you how to do this. Our course digs in deep, and we have one-on-one coaching programs for you to do exactly this. This is one-on-one coaching programs. This isn't vague coaching. We're digging into your business specifically. And we have a 100% money-back guarantee. That's how certain we are about our products. We know they work. We know we can build your business. It's not if. We know we can build your business bigger than ever before. I'm your real estate guru. This is Real Estate Daily, and I look forward to building your business bigger than ever before. See you tomorrow.